Hello, my name is Cherie, and if you're new to my channel, thanks so much for stopping by. I did a video on the Bernette 08, which is a straight stitch sewing machine designed specifically for quilting and bag making. If you haven't seen that video, then please do go and check it out. I'll try to leave a link to it somewhere here on screen. Some of you commented on this video saying that it was an unfair assessment because I did not mention that the 08 has a secondary thread path. If you made this comment, I would like to thank you for keeping me on my P's and Q's. At the same time, I do have a few things that I wanted to say about the secondary thread path. If you did see my other video, you will know that I compared the 08 to the Janome 1600 rather than to compare it to the HD9, which has that secondary thread path. Some of you stated that it would have been better had I compared the 08 to the HD9, given that it has the secondary thread path. And guys, I agree with you on that statement. However, there are a few things that I would like to say about that secondary thread path. Sewing machine dealers are continually promoting the HD9 as an upgrade from the 1600. And they're saying this because they say that the secondary thread path allows you to use thicker threads. But when you actually go into the HD9 manual, you will see that the Janome HD9 has a maximum needle size of 18, which means that the maximum thread size that it can accept would be Tex 70. Then when you go over and look at the Janome 1600 manual, you will also see that that machine can accept a size 18 needle, which means that it too can accept Tex 70 thread. So by having a secondary thread path, you're not able to use any thicker threads than what you would on the 1600. It's merely that by having a secondary thread path, you have the ability for more adjustability on your threads, so you can set your machine up to use a regular 40 weight thread, but then on that secondary thread path you can be using your Tex 70 without having to make as many adjustments. Is that worth an additional $1,000? I'm not so sure, but I will let you be the decider of that. Now, some of you are going to look at the Bernette 08 manual and say, oh my gosh, it can only accept a size 16 needle and not an 18. Yes, it does say that the maximum needle size for that machine is a 16, but when I go online and I do my research, I figure out that they recommend either a size 16 or 18 needle in order to use Tex 70 thread. Now, me personally, I prefer to use a size 18 needle with Tex 70 thread because it just glides better, but that's just me. From the forums and groups that I belong to, I can see that there are a lot of Janome HD9 users who are in love with the secondary thread path. But I also see that there are a lot of users of machines like the Juki TL18, for example, who get along just fine without that secondary thread path and are able to do just as nice projects on their machine. So if you think that that thread path will be beneficial to you, then by all means, but if not, then save those coins and put it towards maybe a sewing table or something else that you want, because I think that regardless of how rich or poor any of us are, we do want to get the best bang for our buck and the best bargain on a product. Overall, I think that we as an entire sewing community need to stop getting sold on a dream of something, like a feature that's supposed to revolutionize a machine. Now, if the Bernette 08 had a free arm, I think that will really change the game, because that will be different than anything that any of the other straight stitch machine makers have included. And I think that would be something really nice to include too, because when you are making a bag and get to a certain stage, you have to flatten out the project in order to finish sewing it because there's no free arm. So I don't know why nobody has thought of doing that before, but it would be really great if they could. If you commented on my last video about features that you would like to see on the Bernette straight stitch machines in the future, or if you commented about how much you really hated my video. I really do appreciate you, because it allows me to continue doing what I'm doing and to continue improving. So I appreciate that, really. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel and tap that notification bell to receive updates. I got a lot of fresh new content coming out soon, so do stay tuned, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.